I always believe in the camaraderie that an artist and a manager is supposed to have. Potential is not promised, and I want all artists to remember that. You got to put the work in.
One thing about coming from the West Side is that you're gonna keep it 100.
If I bring 3 guys together to make a song that I came up with the group of guys,
right?
I produced the record too. Too much of you ain't gonna be worth nothing. Russell Simmons always said that the more somebody know you, the less they respect you.
Top of the morning, it's your boy Monzy Baby Mons Logan.
I'm your boy Lucky XL.
And this is Survival of the Fittest podcast. We got our brother, producer S.A. behind the cameras. Man, what's going on with you?
Feeling good, man. Enjoying the day.
That's good, man. Lucky, man, what about you over there?
Hey, man, I just thought about this. This is our first show of me and you being there, because you missed the last
Yeah, man, I was
shows,
on my holiday vacation.
2024, me and you, we back at it again, man.
Oh, man.
Huh? And we coming for them top spots. I've been seeing y'all 312 awards out there. Everybody getting promoted, right? Survival of the Fittest is on our way, man. We just putting y'all up on notice, man.
Yeah. I mean, and much love to what they're doing too, with the the camaraderie they are building in the city. I love that, and I'm always gonna respect that, man. And I love the name, man. 312 is so Chicago to me. You know what I'm saying? But enough of all this small talk, man. We got a special guest today on the couch, man. Man, today's guest is a multifaceted curator of talent, credited for his role as artist developer, A&R director, executive producer, and playwright, with an impressive portfolio that includes collaborations with renowned artists such as D-Lo, the D-Lo Shuffle, Polo G, Pop Out, Queen Key, and Stunt Taylor, just to name a few. And the recipient of the 2018 Music Mogul of the Year award, man. Please help give a warm welcome to the hustling, humble soul, our great brother Dex Millions. What it do, my brother?
How y'all doing, man? I'm glad to be here.
Man, glad to have you.
Nice
brother.
Intro, man.
Oh man. Yeah. We had to get it right, man. You're a special individual. I mean, it's special just for lack of a better word in this moment. Man, I love what you do, and I love what you stand for, man. And when you have people that, you have an admiration for, you make sure that when you invite them over right, man. And you introduce them to the world, to your world correctly.
Man, love.
Yeah.
Appreciate what y'all doing.
Yeah, First of all, I gave you an intro, but let the people know exactly who you are.
I'm just a skinny kid from out west. West Side, most people call me Dex Millions. I've been doing music for over 20 years. Hustling, grinding, and just, trying to make some things happen out here.
Right. I mean, you not trying, brother, you're doing, man.
Yeah.
It's
a grind.
Yeah.
It's a grind. We all, got to work together to get this done.
So we're going to take it back to the beginning. I come across something, and y'all was speaking earlier, so I guess we can double back on that as far as the inception and the creation and the beginning. Tell me about this YMCA.
Ooh.
First come together in your first. Tell me about that YMCA story, man.
That was terrible. My buddy Liddy from out west, he wanted to do a show. I was this before I started even to get in the music business. He was a promoter, He wanted to do a show, and it was out south. It was out south. We promoted it like I had like $500 to my name, right? Liddy like, man, give me that $500. I'm gonna double your money.
Right.
So we do the show. Mind you now, neither one of us from out south.
Right.
We don't know nobody from out south. When we do the show, we get about maybe 10 people to show up. But he guaranteed me my money back.
Right.
He had guaranteed me my money back. He like, hey, you gonna get your money.
Right.
That's all I heard. But, you know, we did the show. And after the show, I'm like, D, you know, what my I know nobody sure, but where my money at?
Right, right.
He said, bro, we lost together. Like, I knew he was shady then, but that's my little bro, man. Like,
Right.
He said
tried,
this was a team thing.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but yeah, that show was actually, even though the show was like empty and wasn't nobody there, the right people was there.
Right.
You know, and that kind of started my whole career right there. That show. That show, I met Mush and Dex Millions, and from there, I went to Mush called me after the show. He, like, come to my basement and check out some of my music. Potency was there.
Right, right.
And Jock. So they was all over there, and that's where it started. Like, I made them a group, the Renegade Coalition, and my whole career started right there.
How long ago was this?
2020. You know, we lost that night, but it like, you know, as far as financial, I didn't take it as that. Like, I always, you know, uplift D because he put me in that situation to even meet these guys.
Right.
And it changed my whole life.
Now, you said something important. You said loss. We don't like to use that word. You know, we say lesson.
Lesson.
You know, so tell me how that lesson that you learned that night, how did it develop you to the person you are today as an organizer when it comes to, you know, putting together events or investing in events?
I learned from that moment, don't chase the results.
Right.
You know, don't chase the money, or, you know, follow the art.
Right.
All the other stuff gonna come with it. So I tell all the artists that I work with, you know, don't ever chase the results of it. You know, just follow the art. You know, connect with the people.
Because see, in that situation, you could have classified that as being burnt. He burnt me out my money, played me out my money.
No.
To where it could have had the opposite effect, especially if Mush wasn't a key part of the story, to where now it put a twist and some positive outcome come from it.
Yeah, Mush was an intricate piece to that whole narrative. Like, you know, Mush is the one that stayed with me the longest, and he's the one that helped change my career. And matter of fact, Lil D, he did it twice for me.
What, screwed you over?
No,
Put you in the right room.
he put me in the right room.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay.
You know,
Now let me ask you this. So say he would have told you that you was taking the risk, if you put this 500 up, you might lose it. Would you
I probably wouldn't have did it. No, I probably wouldn't have did it. No. He tricked me, but it wasn't.
Then he explained the game to you afterwards.
Afterwards,
Like,
like,
look,
I didn't know
lose
we was losing. Didn't nobody show up. I thought it was a loan, actually.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that was my it was a lesson, but it was, you know, I didn't take it, like you said, as a loss.
Right.
I took it more so as, you know, as it helped me out.
Right.
You know, it helped me out a lot. So that little moment at the YMCA, I actually forgot about it. But that's like kind of the you know, was like, I ain't gonna say my tipping point. That was the moment that started my career. Yeah.
Right.
So let me ask you, right? We from Chicago. So how did growing up in Chicago on the West Side, doing what you do, how did that influence how you do business?
Coming from out west, it's kind of different. I know South Side, I got love for the South Side, the North Side, East Side, all of them, you know, but West Side is what you see is what you get.
Right.
The person you looking at, that's who they are, you know.
Right.
He can have on a white T-shirt with a $1.50. Y'all remember them joints?
Hell yeah.
The Pelly Pals. But he was who he was.
Right.
You know, I ain't calling nobody out South phony or none of that stuff, but you knew you was dealing with out West.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And so that influences how you do business.
Yeah, that influenced me a lot as far as me just keeping it thorough. And, you know, like, we had rules. Like, it's certain things we just couldn't do. We couldn't be phony.
Right.
you couldn't lie about things.
You could, but it'd be consequences.
Yeah. Your boys will call you up on it. Now
Yeah,
people
yeah,
post
yeah.
on Facebook or Instagram, and you know, ain't nobody telling them, "Hey, dude, you ain't even about that life.
Right.
You never was."
Yeah.
So I could never get on there and lie and say I did something, because my homie's gonna call me and check me. To answer your question, it helped me in the business because it kept me thorough and it kept me real, kept me true to myself.
And that's real important, man. You know, that's real important because you said something. I don't know if that is. Should I bring this in? Is that a segue? But I'm gonna go ahead. What's the philosophy when you said
A Course of Miracles.
Course of Miracles? Talk about that.
Nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. Yeah, I live by that. That's my truth. I live by that because and I'm confident in who I am. So whatever, like women, relationships, jobs, anything, what's for me is for me.
Right.
If it's, so anything that's real, it can't be threatened.
Right.
So I don't worry about other things in life. I'm not jealous of nobody.
Right.
I don't worry about what nobody else is doing. It always kept me. I put my own navigation in and followed that.
Right. That makes sense. You know, what's for you can't nobody take.
Exactly.
You know.
Okay, before we get too far down the line, tell us about your company. What is it, Starlink Entertainment?
Starlink Entertainment. I got it's an interesting story about that. During the COVID, I was walking my dog 2:00 in the morning, and Rocky, shout out to Rocky. I was walking my dog 2:00 in the morning, and I saw a line of stars in the sky.
Right.
You know, I thought it was like a spaceship or something. You know, around that time, everybody was going crazy.
Yeah.
I thought the UFO was coming down, but
Right.
it was a sign for me to. So I went back up to the crib. I looked it up, and when the stars align, when you bring the stars together and they line up,
Mm-hmm.
it's called Starlink.
Nice.
So I wanted to bring all the stars together
Right.
under one roof and line them up,
Man.
and that's how I came up with the name.
That's dope. That's dope.
So is it a management company?
It's a management company, a consulting company, a label, an entertainment company. We do a lot of things.
So let's speak about some of the artists that you work with. Some of your first. Let's talk about your first real artist that gave you the understanding, gave you the confidence. Like, you know what? I can do this shit.
It's got to be Mush.
Goes back to Mush.
It goes back to Mush. No matter what happens in my career, the lessons I learned with him,
Right.
and the experience I had with him, he raised the bar for everybody because he was that good. You know, he was really good at producing, mixing, writing songs, singing. You know, he was that good. So anybody that came after him, you know, had to be really good.
Right. That was the bar. And shout out to Mush, man. We hollered at him. Me and O ran into him last year through
that's
2
the brother
awards.
y'all was talking about.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was there with
okay.
Ben One, you know, and he's
Yep.
like, man,
Dual.
I'm out. Yeah. He said he was gonna do the show. So man, now it's time to press. We giving you love, man.
Yeah, Mush. But outside of Mush, you know, it was this girl named Nawisa that a lot of people overlook, and she was like, despite anything that the public saw, she was my real success story.
Right.
You know, like she opened the door for everybody after that.
Right.
You know,
It's R&B, rap.
she rap. She's a little pop rapper. She's a pop rapper. But she was the one that opened like all the connections that I got.
Right.
It came from her. You know, and a lot of people see, like I said, after that, you know, when D-Lo and them and everybody else came, she had already like opened the door for everybody.
Right.
So I was just able to walk them in when she opened the door.
Right.
You know.
Now, what do you think was special about that particular artist?
Nawisa?
Yeah.
Her charisma, her personality, what she was talking about.
Right.
She went viral first before people was going viral.
Yeah.
She was the first one to hit millions on YouTube. She was the first artist that anybody knew before the Dreezes and the Sashas and all them. And shout out to all them girls. But this girl was the first girl that was going.
Right.
You know, and she had a song called "Girl Parents." That's when World Hip Hop.
Yeah, World Star Hip Hop.
World Star Hip Hop was popping, and yeah, they was playing every time. They was picking up. I know people was paying to get on that. We never paid.
She from the city?
She from the she from out south.
Okay.
Yeah, from out south, but she resided out west, and yeah. But she was my real success story. Then after her, or before her, I had City Boy. City Boy, you know, we had the city on lock too with him and R. Kelly.
Yeah, I do remember City Boy.
So he was the first one to give me some mainstream exposure as far as a record.
Right.
City Boy.
Yeah.
So with everything you're doing now, what does it take to run such an expansive operation like that? You got the management, the record label, you're doing all these other things. How much energy are you expending trying to do all of this?
It's a lot. You know, I take on, people always tell me that, you know, I'm doing too much. And I always say I ain't doing enough.
Right.
You know, Chicago is not, you know, where it needs to be. As far as, you know, I have a vision for the city. Not, you know, if you notice that through my career, I represent all the artists from Chicago.
Right.
You know, I post everybody. I talk about everybody. I put everybody on shows. Lollapalooza, Taste of Chicago, Big Jams, etc. So I support the Chicago. But, you know, yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's hard because, and my buddies always, you all over the place, bro.
Are you the type that like to do everything yourself?
Yeah. Because I move fast.
Right.
So you ain't got time to wait on nobody.
Yeah, like if I ask you to do something and you don't do it, oh, I got it. Don't worry about it. And when I say don't worry about it, that means I'm upset. But I'm gonna get the job done.
Get done, right?
Yeah.
No, that's understandable, man. You know, and keep doing what you're doing, man. You know, the universe is definitely gonna direct the right people, you know, in your direction for that. But you're gonna have to, you know, give up a little bit of that control, you know what I'm saying, and kind of let things go a little bit, you know, to allow certain individuals to shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody never gonna do things to your standard 100%. It's always gonna be something that's like, you know what I'm saying? But they may have their way. The thing is, I mean, you said earlier, don't focus on the results, but in certain situations you have to. You know what I'm saying? And that would be like a situation where it's like, man, okay, if they're getting it done, and then that compromising anything else in that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you can trust
their process.
You learn to trust them.
So who is the team, right? So I know, again, I'm gonna keep repeating Chicago, because business practices in Chicago can be rewarding, but it also can be dangerous. So who is the team that help you manage and do what you do, but also how important is it to have the right relationships in doing business from Chicago?
Well, having the right relationships means everything in Chicago. As far as getting you in the door, like it could be essential to have like a solid relationship.
Right.
It's really important. You know, you have a little edge.
Right.
It's rooms that I could walk in that people can't pay to walk in.
Right.
You know, so the relationships are really key. And the relationships is just nurturing them, you know, meeting people, networking, but nurturing them. Don't call the DJ when you want him to play your record. Call him, see how you're doing.
Right.
Take him to the basketball game. You know, like, that's the thing about, I'm going to say Chicago because I live here.
Right.
Is that, you know, everybody chasing their tail. You know, like it's a miscommunication from the DJs to the radio station, from the artists. So ain't nobody trusting nobody.
Right.
You know.
So why you think that is?
No communication. The DJs feel like, and I'm not speaking for all of them, but it's just my perspective. The DJs feel like, I'm not gonna blow the artist up, he just gonna go and leave.
Right.
The artists feel like, I'm not going to support the DJ because he don't support me.
Right.
So now you got, you know, these companies, you know, playing, you know, you got these companies playing like, how can I say this?
Gatekeepers.
Ain't no gatekeepers. Ain't no gatekeepers no more.
Right.
Ain't no gatekeepers no more?
No, I mean, I just saw that poll that they did with, you know, all the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we all are, you know, in our own way,
Right.
you know, gatekeepers to
You ain't keep- you
Some,
just said-
some type of information.
No, you
Yeah.
you just said one thing about coming from the West Side is that you're gonna keep it 100.
Yes, sir.
It's gatekeepers. You better, and I'm not saying gatekeepers again is a bad thing,
Okay.
but you got people who may have seniority. You got people who truly are professionals in what they do. So me not giving you a platform doesn't necessarily mean I don't mess with you. I might already have my own team, or you might not have shown me enough
That's
to
it right
give you
there.
my platform, so it may have come off or appear like I'm a gatekeeper, but you ain't ready yet.
I think gatekeeping in the sense of where they don't want to let talent in. Like, oh, this boy Cole right here. If we let him in, he gonna fuck around and
So
get some of our
haters,
money.
would haters be a
I
better
don't know if
term
it's
than
necessarily
gatekeeper?
haters, but if you on top of the game, right, and you feel like, you know, you just got there, you ain't finna let this position go, and here come this young talented motherfucker right up behind you, and he wants you to help him, then you might gatekeep a little bit. You know, you're like, I want to stay up here as long as I can. If I let you in, then you're gonna take some of my money away. And I think that's the traditional sense of gatekeeping.
So that's the competitiveness of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know, where it stems from,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
the understanding of it.
yeah.
But, you know, nowadays, me keeping it 100, I personally don't think it's a gatekeeper.
Right.
Like, I can't, you know.
So you don't have any personal stories where you was genuinely trying to do something and you needed help from a certain person and you just like, this nigga's just hating on me.
Fortunately, like,
Don't be nice. You too nice too. I see. Don't be nice.
No, fortunately, I always been in situations where whatever little help you gave me,
Right.
I used it to my advantage.
Right.
So if you didn't help me like I asked you to, you did something to, okay, I'm gonna just take that and
Right.
and move around it, you know, and navigate. And like coming up, you had cats like Dame Cash, Israel Johnson, the John Monopolies of the world, like, you know, like
Right.
these people, you know, I looked up to them, Kevin Shine, and I wanted to be on that level. You know, I worked on a Dame Cash. I
Right.
worked on an E from LEP. I worked on all these entrepreneurs, and I took something from all of them,
Right.
you know,
And molded it into your own story.
and brought it to my own story.
Now, let me ask you this. I heard you say earlier you had a vision for the city.
Yeah.
What is that?
My vision for the city is to actually first start a major corporation here. I'm looking at a building now, and I want to open up a center.
Right.
Lil D told me don't do it.
The same dude that told you to go get 1,000 off your
Yeah,
$5.
no, I'm trying to open up a center to teach curricula about music, entertainment,
Right.
Mental health, any part of life that, like, a lot of the stuff we just talking about we didn't have when we was coming up.
Life skills.
Let's teach them that.
Right.
You know, that's my goal, and to also start a major company here.
Right.
It haven't been done.
Why do you feel at this point, you know, with all the success that we've had, it hasn't been done yet?
We had labels here. You know, it's been a bunch of labels. Everybody got a label,
Right.
but a label that supply jobs,
Right.
real opportunities.
So a real label.
A real label.
So we had a lot of names and a lot of
Shout out to everybody that got their companies going. You know, and I'm not, you know, downplaying it,
Right.
but we never had nothing that
provided jobs.
provided jobs.
Yeah, that's a difference.
Yeah.
You know, you can employ 200 people
Right.
at once. You know.
Yeah. When you look at it, we had, I mean, and we going back to Buddy Guy. You know what I'm saying? We got, you know, legends here in the city or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Delmar.
Right. You know, I mean, we had Chess Records back in the day, but
Yeah.
you know, that ain't us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping that? Like, why was that not? Well, I guess I'm kind of answering my question as I think about it, because why nobody did anything at the Motown in Detroit? You know, I guess it just gets to a point where people prefer to go where the infrastructure is already.
Yeah. But we could build here. You know, we got a great opportunity to like do something like that in Chicago.
Right.
I mean, we got the right people, the right resources. We just need to bring it together. You know,
Absolutely.
I don't call Chicago a city of hate. That ain't what I do. You know, I love Chicago.
Right.
You know, I breathe, eat, and sweat Chicago. You know, and I've been hoping for that, even if I don't do it.
Right. You just want to see it done.
I want to see it done.
Right.
Let me ask you, because I noticed that you said something in the interview that you no longer, I'm going to say you don't like rap, but you're not looking to promote a rapper or that type of music, and you're more so focused on R&B. But R&B has taken a dive for so long, man. What is it about the music industry that no longer loves R&B?
There's other genres out here that pop and hip hop, that they had commercially success, and it don't take nothing away from R&B. R&B still got its artists out here that's doing good,
Right.
and they still got their fans that support them. So it ain't no thing as far as R&B taking a dive. Like, everybody had their moment.
Right.
R&B just ain't commercialized right now.
Taking a back seat right now.
But you don't think that's purposely done? Like, remember, we talked about the Boys and Girls Club. I remember the first time I went to an event at 12 years old. Keith Sweat, Guy, that it was majority R&B. Tony, yeah, it was so that's how you learn how to talk to a girl. You was scared, man. You scared to go talk to, go dance with her. That's where you learn certain things about manhood, about romance. And when you look at the landscape of music, it's not being promoted the same at all.
I mean, R&B still there. Like, you got...
Give me some names.
R&B right now?
Yeah, give me some names to where I can turn on 107.5 WGCI, and don't forget to double dot that I. You remember they used to say that? You remember back then? Give me some names that I can turn on WGCI and find some R&B that's on that playing daily.
Her.
Yeah, it's gonna be mostly females.
Yeah, SZA.
They're gonna SZA.
Jacqueeze.
What's the other guy name?
I ain't heard Jacquees. I just listened to it.
Bryson Tiller.
No, what's the new guy name? Sound like Marvin Gaye.
He ain't on there either.
Of course, you got Chris Brown if you want to go high level.
He don't get played though, like they don't.
Chris Brown get paid.
Who?
No, he don't get played.
Yeah, October London.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He real dope.
Yeah, he is. Man.
And like
Anderson .Paak.
No, but he's not getting played
like
that.
Anderson .Paak ain't R&B though.
Yeah.
Would you consider him R&B?
No.
Yeah, he funk.
He made in a different funk. Yeah.
Rhythm and blues.
He's
good,
more
on the funky with the live instrument.
But he's not on the rotation. He's not on the.
Might not be here. He's definitely in the West Coast on
What's
rotation.
your definition of R&B?
Something I can slow dance, make love to, or you can cruise to, but it's at a different tempo.
Okay.
It's sung with a certain sensuality.
Frequency.
Yeah.
So do you consider Ed Sheeran R&B?
Alternative.
He's alternative, and he's a white. He's white America form of R&B.
Right. So it's Blue Eyed Soul, right?
Okay, you can, but that's not urban.
No, because they're not gonna play him on GCI.
They ain't, and you ain't gonna slow dance to no Ed Sheeran song.
I would put him in the alternative category.
You play him in a wedding reception.
No, so you're not gonna. You ain't gonna get too many artists. Like, shout out to GCI, I love them.
Right.
I'm partners with them, but you don't hear too much R&B on there anyway.
Why? But I remember you did. It was always half and half.
That's because hip hop took over.
But why? What happened?
Why?
Like you said,
hip hop got popular.
Yeah, money came into the picture.
Yeah, so it's still commercially ran. Like, if you don't give me the most bucks, when you don't give me the most ears, I got to play you.
Yeah, you got to play that. That's why they play all of the trash, because everybody want to hear the trash.
When it became $1 billion industry, that's what happened. You got to think about it. Like, and it messed me up. Like, when I thought about like mid to late 90s, everybody was going extra platinum. Everybody was. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, and 10 years prior to that, gold was the standard for successful hip hop at that time, rap music at that time. You know what I'm saying? So now it's in corporate interest to promote this more. You know what I'm saying?
But to the detriment and the destruction of our people, right? But I'm gonna give you an example on what I love that you did recently. You went to Instagram, and I was following this particular artist prior to me seeing you with them. And when I mean R&B, tell me about Ty Sims.
Oh wow!
Now
I got a story to tell about Ty Sims. So, the city was throwing a talent show for $10,000. They called me to come judge it, and I went to the club and I came to judge it.
Right.
So it's this kid that get on stage. Now the group before him got a standing ovation, and so when I see this kid get on stage, he coming to work.
Right.
Like he leave from his job, washing dishes, to he came to audition. So he hopped on stage. I'm thinking the dude finna come up there and smoke some squares or something.
That's how rough he looking.
That's how rough he look.
Yeah.
Or he finna rap, or he finna say something.
Right.
I put my head down. I told him this.
You stereotyped him?
Huh?
You stereotyped him?
Absolutely. And I'm judging, right? So I'm supposed to be watching him. So I'm like, he ain't finna do good because this group before him just killed it.
Right.
Got the whole crowd going crazy.
Right.
Man, he came up there and sung I Believe I Could Fly by Chaos. Man, I looked up. I thought I was hearing Rob. I'm like, this kid got a voice.
He do.
And look,
Yeah,
that's
he
his
do.
natural voice.
Yeah, he do. He do. He
Like,
nice.
he's not trying to sound like him.
Right.
That's his natural tone. Like, and so I hollered at him after the show, and I told him I couldn't work with him because I'm judging.
Right.
I said, I'll get with you after the competition over, and we're going to stay in contact. So right after the competition was over, I said, do what you did on that stage
That night, do that again.
and post it on the
That's
social
what's-
media.
Yeah.
Right.
He did it. He went viral.
Yeah. That's why I call wind of him.
Yeah, he went viral.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like labels start calling for him. People start calling to work with us and everything just off this one video.
Right.
I told you, he went from like 600 followers to 16,000 followers on TikTok
Right.
in 2 weeks. In 1 week,
Right.
So it worked. So now, he's working. He's writing his music, and he can write.
Right.
People don't know he can really write his own records.
That's a. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, he can write his own records. So like he definitely coming.
Yeah.
The kid got talent, and y'all in for a treat.
But he's reminiscent of what we
R&B
was talking
is.
because most of the songs that he do are who? Say my man name. Kales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so he studied the great.
Yeah.
He studied Kales. He studied Sam Cooke. We got him Donny Hathaway. Like we putting him to work.
We kind of left off talking about, R&B, how, some people feel like it's dead or others feel like it's just an acquired taste at this point. It's not the popular genre. We come from that era where, artists, they look together, they got their sound, who they were, so they could put out their most authentic, project or present their best thing, and that's what, a lot of individuals don't know is artist development. Do you think that nowadays that's kind of a forgotten talent or forgotten
lost art?
Lost art, there we go, because of, how accessible everything is now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the people that advocate for artist development.
Right.
It's coming back. I see more labels doing it lately. But it's definitely needed in a lot of areas.
Right.
A lot of people again, like I was telling you earlier, artists, they tend to like go off their own understanding.
Right.
And they look at it from an artist's point of view. They don't think about the connection to the people, the actual people, and how to like really connect to people.
Right.
And with artist development, I think, well, I know, like it's a kid right now. We just signed a record. He ain't got a record out.
Right.
We've been developing for 2 years. Strange Vibes. He just signed with Hidden Beat Universal, but he ain't got a record out. But we've been developing this kid for like the last 2-3 years.
Right.
You know, and I partnered with his father, Frame Lewis.
Okay.
Frame, he's a
Shout out to Frame, man.
Yeah, he's a partner of mine. He's one of my mentors. He's very knowledgeable about, like, he's a student of music. He's very knowledgeable, really articulate about, all his moves that he make. And yeah, Frame is he taught me that, like, how to develop an artist.
Right.
I got something I want to say to you, man. I got to say this because I know you spoke about majority of the artists you dealt with when things went well. But I got one comedian came on the show, man, by the name of Timmy Shelto. And he brought you up in his interview, man. He said, Dex was my man. I said, what? What happened with that, Dex? Did you do a little D on him, Dex?
No.
You did a little D on Timmy Shelto.
Hey, man, you got to pause on that.
No.
Paul.
Timmy came, he came around. Like, actually, I'm just want to say this, put this out there. Timmy, he's real talented.
Right.
Okay, I thought you were going to say, okay.
Yeah, he's real.
Okay. He is. No, he hard. Yeah, he is. I
people
fucks with
notice
Timmy.
him for comedy. Like, I know him from music.
Yeah, he rap his album. My brother love his album.
Yeah, like, he really can rap.
Right.
Yeah.
Corporate, too. I managed him, too.
Yeah.
I used to manage Corporate and Timmy Shelto.
That's why he had because I brought Corporate up and he was like, but I rap. He was trying to make a distinct.
Oh.
I didn't know because he didn't say that.
Both of them rap.
Oh.
Yeah.
They was labeling me.
Corporate can really rap.
I know. I like Corporate shit.
Who's better?
Because I offered, I said, I swear to God, I said, man, I'm gonna let Corporate know y'all might have to do a versus.
Versus.
Both of them talented in different ways. I think both of them, they rap better than most artists. Both of them.
I agree.
But when I got Shelto, I got Shelto in a difficult time in my career.
Right.
Where I was like, so it's a story behind it.
But you ain't got to go to many detail.
Yeah. So I started doing comedy because I was kind of like, okay, I'm tired of music for a minute.
Right.
Let me get into this comedy. So I started, doing comedy shows, and I didn't meet Timmy there, but
right. You was prying for him. So when you met him, because you was already doing comedy, it was easier for you to.
I didn't know him. I didn't know him from comedy at all. I just know him from music.
Okay.
So I found out he did comedy later.
Right.
But he was really good. But he came at a difficult time where I was making the transition from labels.
Right.
And I couldn't just fit him in like I wanted to. So,
he kind of alluded to that.
Yeah, and I just didn't have enough time or for him. So nothing was never bad.
Right.
But it was just I couldn't do it.
Let me do this real quick because he said something. I'm glad you brought that up, the comedy. Because you've been riding around with Michael Blackson and Cat Williams had something to say.
Oh, my God.
And I know that I've been seeing you with Michael Blackson, man. Cat Williams has something to say, man. Defend your boy, man. Defend Michael Blackson, man.
Well, first we got to know what he said. What did he say?
Cat Williams say, man, when he told him, because he come from Africa, he said, man, why you acting like an African and you from Africa? So Cat Williams pretty much said, man, I gave him some game. He listened to me and went and got his life together.
Well, he didn't quite say that. He said if you the African king of comedy, why are you walking around with
he did.
the holy dashiki? You supposed to look like the king.
Yeah, he did. That was something else he said.
He didn't really say too much.
No, not bad, but he brought. But I know he been riding with him. So how do you take What's the?
I didn't hear what happened, but I just heard what y'all said. But
Right.
I rock with Cat and I rock with Michael, and that's
No time to be
Right,
politically
yeah.
correct, man. Come on, I know where you keep it.
But he didn't see what he said.
Right, so like-
No, he seen that. He know Cat was
I
on
didn't
fire.
see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see
You
it.
the only one in America that didn't watch that interview, huh?
Huh?
You the only one in America that didn't watch the interview?
I thought parts of the interview.
But not when you talking about your boy.
You
Michael.
heard this man say he do everything, man. He ain't got time to be watching.
But
these
that's
damn-
but he also prefaced this earlier about how important relationships are in this industry.
And speaking on that, you know, how important do you think it is for an artist and manager to have a personal relationship? Do you think that's overrated and it should just be business, or you should really get to know one another?
It's subjective. It's based on the situation. I always believe in the camaraderie,
Right.
that an artist and a manager is supposed to have. There's got to be trust there. So you can have more than one manager.
Right.
You can have like 4 or 5 managers. You know, it's different types of managers that do different things, depending on the level of the artist.
Right.
So, your personal manager gonna probably be the one that's close to you.
Right.
You're gonna have that relationship with. You don't really need a relationship with your business manager like that. As long as your personal manager and your business manager
Get along.
Right.
get along.
Right.
So it's the personal manager. If you're a personal manager, I believe that you should have like a relationship with the artist.
Right.
But if you're doing business or you the role manager or whatever, you still need some type of camaraderie, but they don't have to take lead.
You know, because I mean, I need you, especially if you're guiding my career and you're putting me in front of people and doing all that. You got to know me to sell me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know what makes sense for, you know what I'm saying, the overall, like you said, the brand, you know, and all of those good things or whatever. But does that affect things when the artist may get a little bit bigger and they feel the need to?
So I'm glad that's a good segue.
Because I was going there. I'm glad. Yeah, I was going to go there and say something good. Let's see.
You see this now. I ain't said nothing controversial through
Right.
this whole interview, but probably this. Artists tend to. You don't see artists finish with who they started with.
Right.
Especially here in Chicago, and it's a disconnection with the artist, like, because once I can get an artist buzzing in my sleep.
Right.
I always felt like that, but then they start telling you, like, you take artists from like the ground, homeless,
Right.
and get them going and get them buzzing. Then they start telling you how it should go, what should happen.
Right.
And that's the thing. That's another thing too in Chicago. And this probably happened everywhere. I saw P from QC talk about it. Artists walking in the room without the people they started with. The artists don't, they lose focus. They lose sight.
And respect.
And they lose
For
respect.
how we got here.
Now, do you think that that's strategically done? Like, once they kind of get in, now you're around different influences, and a lot of these influences are kind of, interconnected. Do you think it could potentially be them saying, hey, man, I got a guy that can get you, here,
the
and they
next level.
sell that, you know what I'm saying, that thing, like, your guy ain't doing enough.
He can only take you so far.
Yeah,
Right.
That happens too. I seen a lot of that. That happens a lot in this industry where you get an artist to a certain point, and they were like, "Well, I don't really need you no more, but Buddy can take me here," and they go there.
Right.
But you know what I like that you said, because I'm glad you went there about that as being the manager, and I wish I could quote you verbatim, but what you said brought about this question. How important is it to keep the Dex Million brand the most valuable part of your business brand? You understand the question?
Yes, it's the most the reputation is everything. My reputation, who I align myself with, you know, that's everything to me.
Right.
You know, who I represent and what I represent. Again, is where I came from.
No, but I'm saying the brand, the business of Dex Million, because like you were saying, the artist will want to walk off. So now if you based your brand and your business off that artist, he decided to separate who is Dex Million. And you were saying in the interview, as long as you focus on you and you being the most important thing, whether your artist stick around or not, you're going to stay hot, nigga, because I made you, and I'm going to make sure they know I made you.
This guy named Maurice Guns, I'll never forget him. If y'all been around the music scene for a minute, Maurice Guns, he used to do the posters and the cover arts and the flyers and everything. Shout out to Maurice, too.
Right.
Maurice and I used to work with this particular artist. I ain't going to say their name. And I used to come to Maurice all the time, like, let's promote him. Let's promote him. You know, let's promote him. And Maurice pulled me to the side one day. Look, bro, you got to start putting your name on this.
Yeah.
Because they going to mess around and just quit one day. You can always depend on yourself.
Right.
You know. And then I heard Diddy. I met Diddy at a conference in New York. And he told me the exact same thing. So I took it and I said, for now, I'm just start putting my name on everything. I'm going to be, you know, this Dex Deal Entertainment, Next Level Entertainment. Whatever I was representing.
Yeah.
It's going to be about, you know, my brand.
So let me ask you this. Does your brand, Starlink Entertainment, do you have a deal with somebody else, a distribution deal, where you bringing in the artists and managing them and then you can funnel them through the distribution company and put them out? How does that work?
Not yet. I haven't took a situation yet with Starlink in particular. My last company, I took a deal with something like that with Doe Street Entertainment. But with Starlink, like I always had partners, and I'm gonna bring up Lil D again one more time.
Shout out to Lil D from the West
Lil D
Side.
always told me I was a bad partner. You know, like I don't need nobody, like, because I always had a partner. Like I always had, like, we co-owners.
Right.
And
Network,
Starlink was the first thing I started by myself. You know,
okay.
so I took my time with it.
Right.
And, you know, and developing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got some things coming up.
Okay. And so I know that I heard you speak about this, so we're going to go into this. And I should have said this earlier. Tell me about the legendary, incomparable civil rights activist, one of the greatest comedians, entrepreneur, businessman, no nonsense, Dick Gregory.
Oh, wow. Dick Gregory. When I told y'all I stopped doing music. I ain't stopped. I started doing comedy too.
Right.
So I had the pleasure of working with Dick Gregory, traveling with him, in the car with him, eating with him, having dialogue with him.
That was nice, man.
And you don't realize it until, you know, you're not there, you know.
Right.
You know, the position you're in. And just working with him, obtaining so much knowledge in that little time.
Right.
You know, in the little time that I had with him, I gained so much knowledge.
Right.
And, you know, he was, you know, I ain't gonna call him old, but he was really smart to be his age.
Sharp.
Yeah, he was always on point. And you think he was
Declining.
yes, but he was like still that person. He was, you know, still Dick Gregory.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna always cherish that time with him that I had, you know, and remember that.
Was there anything from, you know, those times, you know, that you could look back on, you know, that brings you here, that, you know, that connected the dots for everything that you're doing today?
Yeah. Again, just me standing on certain principles.
Right.
You know, and getting it from him. Like he would cuss you out.
He would, quick.
In your face.
And hit you with the, huh?
Huh? And I met him through a friend. I forgot her name, but I'm sorry.
Friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna just call her friend. I won't say the right name on it. But you know, she was working with him, like, you know, and she we partnered up to work with him, and I got a chance to work with him and like travel with him, and like I said, it was phenomenal.
Right.
One of the best experiences outside of meeting Barry Gordy and him telling me that I'm going to be great.
Yeah.
Speaking with Russell Simmons, like Dick Gregory was the one.
Right, most influential that had influence on you.
And when you look at the magnitude of that great brother, he's top of the commercial world.
He's icon.
You know what I'm saying? To take a
icon.
stand. You know what I'm saying? To get political. You know what I'm saying? To spread a conscious message. That's a lot of people, especially nowadays. Like nobody's doing that. The closest we got to anything, I would say, in today's age of that was Lil Baby doing the song, the Black and White, or what was the name of the song?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't see artists taking that stand at the height of their career and saying, "Hey, man, there's some terrible injustice going on, and I'm gonna devote my life to spreading the awareness of this."
Shout out, real quick. Shout out to Omar, because Omar. Funny you bring that up. Omar was a big advocate of me doing that.
Right.
And We Are the World.
Right.
And Omar always told me like that you should put together We Are the World song and let everybody get on it.
Right.
And Omar been like that. He been right there with D too, supporting me. Yeah. But he was always advocating for that.
We talking about the Omar in the room?
Yes.
Oh shit! So we got Lil D and Omar in the room. That's okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I see. I call him. He don't know this. I call him the connector. Because I've never been anywhere with bro where he ain't connecting something. He know everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He
like,
do too. Yeah.
It's like, oh man, yeah. Hey, hold on, real quick. Okay, man, yeah, you should get him on the show. He gonna, you know what I'm saying? He's a good brother, man, and man, the vibes always been great. And it was crazy. It wasn't until the 312 Awards, we realized that potency was kind of like our 6th degree, the 6 degrees of separation or whatever. Yeah. And that moment, him being there with me, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just me, these brothers. I think they was out of town at the time, and I wanted to come through and represent. Him being there with me meant a lot. But secondly, like knowing someone, because I'm big on like relationships. Yeah. Somebody that, you know what I'm saying, I hold dear to my heart. That's your, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You the same on this part, man. That connects us a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? Because I know this person. You know what I'm saying? And I know what type of people they associate themselves with. They wouldn't associate themselves with you if you wasn't of that caliber or greater. Right. And man,
shout out to Potency. I learned a lot from him too.
Patrico Brown, we got to get it right, man, so the people know. Well, that's the state. That's the, you know what I'm saying, the reinvention of Potency. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Shout out though. He definitely was one of the first artists to educate me on this business. Right. And he's been real instrumental through my career.
He's been the same thing for me, man. Like he was like, man, you want to get your song on iTunes? This is way before niggas was doing this shit. Man, I mean, even on some, bro, he had me set up where I had a little, he was doing like what we call influencer marketing. Affiliate marketing. Yeah. He had me doing that with the phones back in the day, like, man, I'm going to give you this number. You know what I'm saying? If they stay on the phone for 30 seconds, you get this. If they do this, they buy that. I'm like, word.
Any marketing strategy, you go to post.
Yeah, man. He was getting my CD covers printed up, all that. Very resourceful brother. And he never, as people like to say, gate kept. You know what I'm saying? Whatever information he had and he deemed you worthy, meaning like, man, I see you're striving towards a particular goal, man. If I can help, man. So that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? I love him like we come from the same mother. So shout out to him, man.
All right, Dex, let me read you something real quick. It says here, to all you creative souls, I pose a question. Why is it that you release your music, promote it for a mere week, and then cease to nurture it further? It seems as though your music is denied opportunity to flourish and you abandon it once it fails to go viral. Is it high time we alter this approach? Dex Millions. And that's a quote from you.
Yeah.
I had the same one.
Tell me about that. Why you feel that way?
I just feel like artists put a record out, right? You'll see them talk about it for about a week. Maybe the first day they talk about it. If they put the record out Monday, by Friday, they ain't really talking about the record no more. Because it didn't go viral. It didn't hit like they thought it was going to hit.
Whether it's a good record or not.
Whether it's a good record or not. So they, and they, if it ain't getting enough likes or shares or whatever the case might be, they give up on the record.
So how would you promote an artist? What's your marketing, your vision when it comes to marketing and promoting a young artist?
Potential is not promised. Potential is not promised. And I want all artists to remember that. You got to put the work in. You know, you have to get out there and work and promote your stuff.
Right.
Like the old days, you know. And that's where the substance come in at with the music. You know, it's saturated now because people putting out music every day, all day. You know, and ain't nothing sticking. But the people that's really working and winning, they working.
Right.
They working on records.
Yeah.
The label working on records.
So would we consider those individuals industry plants because they took the time to develop, you know what I'm saying, and they positioned themselves because they already had the game plan and strategy in play. And I'm saying that not in a condescending way. I'm saying that this is how, on the outside looking in, a person looks at, like we talked about, artist development.
Yeah, so when they
someone who
up,
took the time to strategize, figure out who they are, figure out who their fan base is, and execute on that.
Yeah, everybody wants something quick nowadays. They want to throw it out there and hope it works right away, you know. And it's not the case.
Right.
It's not realistic. TikTok, you can go viral by standing on the expressway naked if you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can go viral. Yeah. You can do anything to go viral.
Right.
That don't mean it's good.
Right.
You know.
It don't mean it's gonna stick either.
Yeah, music is a frequency.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to connect the people.
Right.
You know. And they don't allow that. They put it out. If it don't work right away, I'm done with it. Hey, it didn't go viral. It didn't change my life right away, but they stopped.
Right.
So Dex, what goes into artist development? What is it? Are you teaching image, singing lessons? What goes into artist development?
A combination of all that. First, mental health. You gotta sit down and talk to these artists. Before I sign an artist, I work with them and see if it's gonna work. Before I do any consulting with them, I work with them first. I talk with them, and just getting to know them. That's the first thing I do. And then you develop their skill, their talent. It could be how to do a proper interview. It could be how to perform, how to record, how to pick a track. The art, I tell artists this too, the music don't belong to y'all. It belongs to whoever takes it.
Right.
Whoever receives it.
Right.
You just keep that in mind when you're working.
Meaning don't take it personal.
Yeah. Don't take it personal. It don't belong to you. Everybody think it's my song, I wrote it. No.
For the people.
It came through you.
So is it fair enough to say, look, you are the brand, but you can't focus on you can't take ownership of the product. Like Kellogg's ain't worried about how, each Frosted Flake. You know what I'm saying? They worried about Kellogg's and developing other products.
So here go the contradiction of that, because it's subjective. Ain't no right or wrong way to do it.
Right.
It's different for everybody. I'm just telling you what worked for me.
Right.
So I would rather develop an artist than somebody go viral and it takes off.
Right.
Because you're going to have to double back anyway.
Yeah, you got to double back anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I put the work in.
Yeah.
How long would it typically take to develop an artist?
It depends on the artist. It could be
how far they is in their career.
It could be 1 week. It could be 5 years. Like, it depends on the artist for real. Like, how much work they're willing to put in.
So let's talk about them books and the documentary. Either one, you can start with either question.
I just started doing a documentary. I want to do something that supports Chicago. Me and Ruby Lane and Eric Arman. Well, I'm going to tell you how it started. Ruby came to me and she's in the film world, and she wanted to shoot a documentary. Well, I say, well, let's do one on Chicago. Let's do one on the women of Chicago. You know, so I took an influencer from each generation, from Shauna on down to Mellow Bucks.
Right. Shout out to Mellow Bucks.
Each person from that had some influence on our culture here in Chicago.
Right.
I took and I put in this documentary.
That's dope.
And
That's dope.
It's a real good project. And I've been excited about it. But with everything, you know, it ain't never easy.
Right. Yeah.
When is it coming out?
When we finish,
Still being filmed.
Yeah, we filming it now. You know, we filming it now. So it'll be you'll be hearing about it real soon. I know y'all seen me going to shelters with the girls, Dreezy and Key and Santa, and shout out to all three of them. And Katie got bands. Sasha Go Hard, Chella H, Frankie Robinson, Stacia Mack, Shauna, just all of them. If I missed anybody, forgive me. And I'm writing 2 books right now. It's a kid's book called Urban Violinist. It's about a 6-year-old girl. She got mixed parents. One of them Caucasian, and her mom is African American, and she struggled with bringing that 2 cultures together. So she decided to try to do both of them,
right,
instead of trying to please one of them.
Right.
Yeah. And my other book is called Industry in the Streets. It's my autobiography.
Okay.
So let's go back to the kids' book. I'm sorry, Carl. This fresh out the mind of Dex Millions?
Yeah, this is straight from me.
Straight from you, huh?
Yeah.
So the whole concept with the mixed parents and everything, and
yeah, the whole. So what happened was this young lady. She write books already. I called her and told her I wanted to write a book. I wanted to do a kids book. She gave me the title, but her title was called Hip Hop Violinist. So I took that title and wrote a book to it. But I changed the title because I didn't want to use the word hip hop.
Right.
So I named it Urban Violinist.
Nice.
So the title came from her. It's like with music. I give my artists titles or something to talk about in their music.
Right.
And they make a song about it.
Right.
So I might come in there and say, hey, I want to talk about a relationship that went bad. You know, put that in a song for me. Or let's talk about somebody losing a family member.
Right.
Put that in a song for me. So we draw off titles. So just give me the title and we're going to write to it.
So, I mean, you definitely earning them executive producer credits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you really, and you know, a lot of people have, there's a lot of controversy over that. You know, 'cause, you don't play any instruments or anything like that.
I don't play. Look, let me tell you my story. I started doing music in church.
Right.
I couldn't dance. I ain't got no rhythm. I couldn't play no. I can't sing or none of that.
Right.
And I was reading my mama vinyl. She had a Joe Cool vinyl.
Right.
Now
Joe
I'm
Cool
reading
the cigarette or Joe Cool the artist?
Joe Cool the artist.
Oh,
that nigga said Joe Cool the cigarette.
Right, that's what I'm like.
No,
hey,
Joe Cool the artist. Like, look, so
like you came up, where you meet him at?
Right.
So I was reading the credits and I said I want my name on here somewhere.
Right.
And that would motivate me to keep, do music.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because it's a debate. You know, like individuals who what I would call beat makers. I make beats and stuff.
Okay, produce.
Right. You know,
you make beats or you produce?
I produce.
Okay.
But
that's a difference.
I feel like in my head I always knew production is what I wanted to do, but I came up in a time where like the lines were kind of blurred at that. The producer was the dude who made the beat versus the guy who said, hey, I want to do this particular song. I'm going to get these artists. I'm making this dude to make the beat, or because I can program, I'm going to make the beat, set the tone and pretty much put everything together or whatever. So I developed a deeper understanding of that because I always, with Puff, like you mentioned earlier, he was some influence on you. I always saw that he got a lot of flack for being a producer, but he didn't play or whatever. So that always made me go and say, okay, what is the job of the producer? And so to see that, okay, he's the mastermind.
Yeah, if I bring 3 guys together to make a song that I came up with the guy,
right?
I produced the record too,
right?
Yeah,
But you have individuals that feel like, well, he didn't do this, he did that. Why does he get the opportunity to call himself?
Wait a minute, you said if you bring 3 guys together,
like I said, I bring a producer, a songwriter. Like I'm looking for a sound. I'm gonna bring this producer for a certain sound.
Right.
I'm gonna bring this songwriter that can write to that particular sound.
Right.
And I'm gonna bring some backgrounds to get behind you.
Right.
So I kind of put the whole record together.
So that would make you an executive producer.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but no, it makes you. It makes
or
you
like in movies, you would be a producer.
No,
but in music, it's different.
But we got to think about this. Quincy Jones produced Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. He played not one instrument on any of those albums.
Right, but he's producer, so he in the room with manipulating the sound. But he's saying bringing them in the room and letting them work.
But he's saying the same thing. He's not saying
I can walk in. I can walk you in a situation,
right,
and say I want points on it, and just I walked in and left.
Yeah, it made it happen.
If that's the deal that you make.
If that's the deal that I might make.
Right.
Yeah, so you're a deal maker.
So a lot of artists think, well, you didn't do no work. I introduced you to the guy.
Right.
It don't happen without me.
Right.
Back to Lil D.
Lil D, shout out to Lil D again.
Yeah, Lil D gonna be
very intricate.
He can also say that, like, well, I introduced you to him. Yeah. That's why you got on or whatever.
Right.
But if he wanted to take that stance, I gotta honor it.
Right.
So connect that to, because you're gonna eventually do a podcast too, and then I'm glad that you're here with us, because maybe we can collaborate with that, called Dex to Index or Index to Dex. Talk about that.
Dex Index. So Dex Index was, I used to do this thing called Facebook Idol, where I used to go live and it used to get like 20,000 viewers on it. Like I was auditioning people on Facebook every week, once a week. And I wanted to start that back up on Instagram. So, and I was going to review records. So when I call it Dex Index, I'm also talking about the people I got in my phone book that I can put on here with me to listen to y'all music.
That's the concept.
Yeah.
So that could be a Irv Gotti, whoever.
Yeah, it could be whoever. It could be like some of my, like, I call them my celebrity friends.
Right.
So it could be whoever. Like, okay, you might not know, like one day you might have Michael on there, Michael Blackson or Twister, whoever come on there one day and just review your music and talk about it with you. Like, oh, okay, this is dope. I would change this and do that.
Right.
Speaking of Twister, and we're going to let Lucky get to his fire round. But before we get to the fire round, tell us about your relationship with Twister.
Oh, man, Twister go back a minute. I met Twister. He did a song for me with Mush. And that's where our relationship started. We created something that was going to be part of both of our legacies. We were one of the first people to start doing it. I ain't going to say it was new, but we was the one, like, started doing the Stop the Violence celebrity basketball game.
Okay.
And we've been doing it for, like, maybe 10 years.
So how's that work? How's the celebrity basketball game work?
It's been good. We've been getting we get a lot of support. The city come out. We get support from every angle of the city. We work with all the artists. We work with all the actors, entertainers, anybody that's doing something in Chicago. We support it, and we put together this event to kind of not actually stop the violence, but take some of that energy away, at least for that one day,
Mm-hmm.
and try to get them something to go back to school with.
And so you kind of like donate the money to the...
Yeah, we donate. We donate. We give out awards. We give out checks to like certain programs. That's the financial part of it. But outside of that, we do a free event.
You talk to the kids and
we talk to the kids, we take pictures, you know. And I've been doing it. We never had no incidents. And it's because the energy we bring.
Right.
You know, we never had not one. And I had the toughest. I had gangs in there with each other.
Right.
You know, from opposite sides. And, you know, for they respect for me and what we doing and Twister, you know, it always been a safe haven for Chicago, our basketball game.
And I hear you talk about that, and I can't help but wonder if we can do on-the-spot interviews with survival of the fittest. Because see, survival of the fittest, we want to give survival tips and increase the visibility of what you do the best way we can. So I think we should incorporate, we should collaborate together. So the next one, next year, we're going to come out, we're going to position our cameras and things, and then we should do some interviews.
Y'all locked in now. Y'all locked in now. We family, and I'm going to make sure this platform gets seen and heard and touched by the right people.
We appreciate that. So we going on one last question. It's just kind of sparked that question. Accessibility versus visibility. Which do you feel any are important? Which is more important, and why?
Maybe visibility. Just being seen, and goes back to what you said. Just seeing somebody run a business or seeing somebody doing the right thing. In music, it's kind of different, though. You know, you try to put the music out and be less accessible.
Right.
You know, because you don't want to oversaturate your brand.
Right.
As an artist. Yeah, you got to touch the people. You got to be out there to communicate with them. But too much of you ain't going to be worth nothing to them. Russell Simmons always said that the more somebody know you, the less they respect you. So.
Yeah, lucky. You get to get your 5 rounds in.
The 5 round, that's what it was. So in 5 round, in that sense, I just wanted to make sure I get these questions in so he can get his answers out. And I know we short on time. So in case y'all wondering what I'm drinking, right? I know y'all might be wondering, this is Annie Sunflower Cafe, located in Chicago.
That's your camera there. Put it
that's
down.
my camera. This is Annie Sunflower Cafe, located in Chicago. Black-owned, female establishment. And if you want to know more about it, go to Instagram and start following Annie Sunflower Cafe. Instagram, Annie Sunflower Cafe. She got some almond milk in here for me.
She got macchiatos?
She got macchiato. Yeah, she
okay.
got that. Yeah, she got that.
Yeah.
In fact, she made the macchiato that he's speaking of, but we don't have it on camera right now because he devoured it already.
What's her website?
AnnieSunflower.com.
Yeah, Annie Sunflower Cafe.com.
But start following her because she needs followers, and then she want to hear from you. So go to Annie Sunflower Instagram and become a customer of hers, man. So we getting close to final thoughts.
Again, I just want people to know that when you meet Dex or you hear about Dex, it's a positive thing. I work really hard, not just for myself, but for this culture, for our city, for all our people. You know, my thing is just continue to work hard. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have some days that you want to quit. But, you know, just persevering through it. And, you know, I see potential all the time. But my objective is to encourage the potential I see.
Oh, yeah.
So just keep up the hard work, and you only got to be right once.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, man, I can't really add much to that, but I'm going to say this. I want y'all to stay down until you come up, right? Stay down until you come up. So if you was listening to Dex, he was telling you he got artists that's been on his roster sitting there for 2 years. We talking about artist development. So it don't have to just be music. It could be basketball. If you got to work on your game for 2-3 years before the coach give you your shot your senior year, stay down until you come up, right? If you're working on your business and everything ain't working out right, you might have to partner with this person. That don't go right. You might have to put this ingredients in there. That don't go right, but you're hanging there. So stay down until you come up. And with this platform, what we doing right now here, Survival of the Fittest, we ain't got everything figured out. We ain't spoke to everybody we need to speak to, but we going to stay down until we come up, man. And it might not be this year. It might not be next year, but we going to stay down until we come up, you square.
Indeed. And I'm going to leave off on remove the idea, the concept, even the word loss from your vocabulary. If you lose your keys, you ain't lose them. They misplaced. You feel me? If you lost a loved one, you didn't lose them. You know, you gained an angel. And if you feel you may have lost in an investment, you know, in the relationship or whatever, you learned. So that new L, we replacing that L word with learn, right? And that's what we're going to do. And before we get out of here, I definitely got to send some love to our angels, to my brother Pre-Dollar, you know, who stay over us. He's a big inspiration on, you know, keeping me going outside of my brothers here as well, you know, but definitely that. And also my son's grandmother, Vetta Williams, who just transitioned over. So we have another angel up there watching over us. And always, as my great brothers say.
Well, real quick, shout out to my nephew. We love you, man. His birthday is tomorrow, man. Lil Trill, we love you, man.
Absolutely.
This is a product for the people.
Hold on. Y'all just gonna. I'm gonna start firing you niggas.
My bad, because you do it to me so quick.
That's what's finna be happening.
My bad. Okay.
Brother.
The slow music
I've been
about to
planning
come
this
in
final
right
thought
there.
all week. What the hell wrong with y'all?
Final thoughts. Producer essay behind the camera.
Now, my final thought is gonna be based off of our great artist Aretha Franklin. Now, she said, RESPECT, respect. Find out what it means to me. That's what I want everybody to take. What does respect mean to you?
Right.
Respecting yourself, respecting the culture, respecting your parents. If you give respect,
you should get respect.
You should receive respect.
Right.
So that's what I want to say. Respect yourself, have some integrity, have some morals about yourself, and carry yourself on a higher level. That self-esteem is important.
And we got to, again, thanks Dex Millions for coming out and spending his time with us, man. Today's
Absolutely.
Sunday, and it's cold than a motherfucker out
cold
there.
out here.
Negative 8 degrees.
And he
It's
come out,
cold.
man, ready to play, man. Shout out to Lil D coming out here, man. Shout out to Omar and everybody, again, who support us when they don't have to. So this is a product for the people, by the people, and where dreams go further than bullets. We out of here, you squares.
Peace.
Windy City, birth the rebel. Raised in the shy, nigga on the level. Put in my work, I became a devil. Consider this a warning, nigga brain.